Graham, the U.S. has launched another drone strike on Islamic terrorists in northern Iraq, but it is now far less likely the U.S. military will conduct any rescue and evacuation missions to help the trapped Yazidi people. Dale Hurd explains why.
A humanitarian aid drop to the refugees stranded on Mount Sinjar. In 5 days, the U.S. military has delivered more than 114,000 meals and more than 35,000 gallons of water to the desperate Yazidi people. But the U.S. may not do much more than that, because the Pentagon says American military advisors on the mountain found far fewer refugees than expected. U.S. officials say the airdrops of food and water have made a difference, and that airstrikes on Islamic State targets have allowed for many of the Yazidis to escape. United Nations officials Wednesday condemned reports of sexual violence by Muslim militants against women and children of the Iraqi minorities.
They say they have received atrocious accounts on the abduction and detention of Yazidi, Christian, Turkmen, and Shabak women and girls and boys, and reports of savage rapes. Some 1,500 Yazidis and Christians may have been forced into sexual slavery.
Meanwhile, a team of 129 Marines and Special Forces has been assessing the threat to the refugees.
You look at corridors, you look at airlifts, you look at different ways to move people who are in a very dangerous place on that mountain to a safer position.
But at issue now is whether the president, elected on a platform of ending the Iraq War, will heed the many calls for a military campaign to contain or destroy the Islamic State, an undertaking that could dominate U.S. foreign policy for the remainder of his term. His own defense secretary said the group poses a threat to the civilized world, but the president has authorized only a limited campaign of targeted airstrikes designed to protect refugees and American personnel in the Kurdish region, but not take out the group's leadership or logistical hubs.
The role of U.S. forces is not one of re-entering combat on the ground. It's how to provide humanitarian assistance to this affected population.
A strategy to destroy the Islamic State would not require large numbers of American ground troops, but it would require military action in western Syria, where the Islamic State is headquartered. And perhaps most importantly, it could stretch combat operations into the election season. Dale Hurd, CBN News.